Rock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Smoothie. Good workout this morning. How about it, y'all? So we found out yesterday that the New Orleans Saints did, in fact, already interview Doug Pederson. Talked about it a smidge on AFR on Monday if you missed it. The interesting thing about the Saints interviewing Pederson is that if you look at all the candidates that they've requested an interview with, Brian Flores, Dennis Allen, Aaron Glenn, all defensive coaches. We found out yesterday that they've also scheduled an interview with Darren Rizzi, who's currently on the Saints staff, but he's the special teams coordinator. So the interesting part is Doug Pederson so far is the only offensive coach that they've interviewed. So it kind of begs the question, what are they looking for? Are they looking for a defensive coach that will keep Pete Carmichael in place to keep that offensive structure, system, terminology, everything? Or, and by the way, if you do that, it's unlikely you land any of the big name free agent quarterbacks. Or are you looking at bringing in an offensive coach that actually has a chance of getting Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or one of those guys? So, interesting. Now, as far as Darren Rizzi, my guess is probably doesn't have a real shot at the job, but it's one of those things where you give a boy, give him like an attaboy, give him a little hat tip, it's an opportunity to go through the interview process, and then his name is talked about, right? So then maybe he's starts to be given more consideration for other jobs he might not otherwise be considered for. Make sense? All right. Say some good mornings here. See what y'all got. LSU basketball tonight, of course, against Ole Miss. Another late tip, another 8 o'clock tip. So got to get this one tonight at the Maravich Center. Truax, what's good, man? A2, Joel? Where you been, man? Good to see you there. That's a throwback. Sherry Gotro, Bill Schmid, Karen Baker, Jason Horn, Nick Bradley Hull, Brian Broom, Chase Pellegrin, Tim Witten. Good morning, good morning. Earl Joseph Lytle. Morning, Matt. Brady's still on the fence on retirement. What's going on with this? Your thoughts? Always a great show. Thank you, Earl. My guess is Tom Brady was prepared to retire. Schefter and Darlington broke the news before Brady had a chance. So this is his sort of petty way of saying, I'll show you. And he's making them sweat. Because it's Adam Schefter's name attached to it, it immediately comes with an enormous amount of credibility. So we all believe that Tom Brady is retiring. I am curious how it will play out. But Don Yee, his agent, Brady's agent, who's also Sean Payton's agent, by the way, said Tom understands the time frame of an an off season, in the calendar, so he's not going to drag this out. Senior Bowl this week, then you're getting ready for Combine, you got free agency March 16th, I believe. So I don't think it's going to drag out too long, but I do think he's going to make Schefter and those guys sweat a little for breaking the news. Matthew Shelley, Brian Fletcher, bang, bang, bang. Friggin' shut-up color guy in Cincinnati. Good reference there, Brian. Glenn Laurie, good morning. Deborah Coward, Stephen Fry, big day. Really, big day? Why is today a big day? I'll bite. Kelly Gross, good morning. Hey, Dad, Brian Wynn, Charlie Cavell, Tim Witten. Why not Bieniemy? Well, I think it's worth noting that Eric Bieniemy's season just ended on Sunday. And that's the day they interviewed Doug Pederson. So that could come. It very well could, and maybe will, but it hasn't yet. So I would very much look for that report, hopefully soon, because I do think if there's an offensive coach out there that I'd be most interested in, it would be him. It'd be the guy that's helped orchestrate the best offense of the last half decade in the NFL. They're in Kansas City. That was from New Orleans, by the way. Trivia Carter, Joey Vincent, Jamie Hodges, Malcolm McKay. I think it's McKay, but I feel like I'm McKay, like Mr. Mackey from South Park. Shane O'Mac, Matt Lusto. Want to buy a house in Houston? Not really, Matt. I don't want to buy a house in Houston. I'm quite content. I'm doing just fine right here, Clark. Wendell Norman, Eric Wilderrotter, Morning Scone. Any idea if Joe House is on campus? I think you're looking for Matt House, who would be the new defensive coordinator. And he sure as hell better be, because they're paying him a lot of money. His season in Kansas City is now over, and tomorrow is National Signing Day. So you better believe that if he's not on campus, he better be in home with somebody, some big name prospects, namely Harold Perkins and Jacoby Matthews. Go introduce yourself. Hi, I'm going to be your defensive coordinator when you sign with LSU on Wednesday. So I would sure as heck hope so. Brian Wynn, take the Bengals and the points, no brain error, I'm guessing, typos. Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. I mean, at this point. Jim Harbaugh interviewing with the Vikings tomorrow. Muy Interessante. That'd be a good hire, man. Guys want everywhere he's been. I mean, he had the 49ers with Colin Kaepernick a play away from winning a Super Bowl. Reagan Lee, got to win these next 6. Basketball, I totally agree. You're going to be favored in all of them. You got to win all of them. So go string together a whole bunch of wins. Start playing better. Get some confidence back. You've lost 4 or 5. Go put together a nice run here. It starts tonight against Ole Miss. Not a very good Ole Miss team. If you're not familiar, Ole Miss is just 2-6 in SEC play. If you're wondering, LSU is a 13.5 point favorite in this ball game. Again, there is no excuse at all to lose this game on your home floor. As bad as LSU has been scoring the basketball at 73 points a game, Ole Miss is 6 points worse. And defensively, LSU's better rebounding. LSU's 39-34. I mean, blocks, LSU doubles up Ole Miss in blocks per game. Steals, LSU still at the tops of the country at 11 steals per game. Ole Miss at 7. I mean, you bet you should win this game going away. So go do it. Ed Reeder, good morning. Bernard Snyder, morning, Matt. Yesterday you had me going with the Bengals play caller killing it at the end of the game. It's true, bro. What a moron. I mean, you got a guy, a potential once in a lifetime opportunity to call that. Not just for the guy calling it, but for a fan base that will forever listen to that in the same way that we listen to Jim Henderson, Hakeem drops the ball, or pigs have flown, hell is frozen over, the Saints are going to the Super Bowl. Like, Jim Henderson's great call. Well, Cincinnati didn't get that because their idiot color analyst is stepping all over the play-by-play guy. If you ever have the opportunity to either do play-by-play or to be a color analyst on radio, shut up. If you're the color guy, shut up. Or if your children or friends aspire to do that, please spread that word. Tell them to shut up. Jeremy Hoskins, Rudy Yule, took the wife's car to drop the kid off at school, 11 miles to empty women. Oh, what's wrong with that? I always go to that point, Rudy. I mean, all the time. I'll push it. Caleb Bernard, good morning. Preston Schulze, morning, Matt. Signing day tomorrow. Does AFR have any plans for that? Player or coaches interviews? So the tough part about it, Preston, is... look, so I would hope so. Tough part about it is you're never going to get coaches on signing day because they're working the phones the whole time. And players might be more doable in the age of NIL where you don't have to get permission and all that sort of stuff. But it's very difficult because those guys on signing day are pulled in so many directions. But I would love to. And keep in mind that all of the announcements will be done before AFR, except for Jacoby Matthews, who's going to announce at 6 p.m. So I'll tell you right now what the schedule is. Here it is. So Jalen Davis Robinson's at 9:30 a.m. That's the cornerback. Trevante Citizen's at 11 a.m. on ESPN. Danny Lewis is at 1. He's the tight end out of Westgate. Harold Perkins at 1:15. Then Caleb Douglas, the wide receiver, at 1:30. And then Jacoby Matthews is at 6 p.m. So 5 of the 6 will happen before AFR, and then Jacoby Matthews will happen as soon as we go off air. And by the way, Danny Lewis was at one point committed to Cincinnati, as you probably know, and new LSU offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock. Shout out to Brock, y'all. Speaking of Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, brortho.com, new year, new career. Brock is hiring, brortho.com, brortho.com. And of course, Hudco Roofing, where we have launched our Hudco Hometown Heroes program. Super exciting for those that have missed it. Essentially, we're taking a different spin on NIL. We know that every big name athlete is going to have their opportunity to do NIL deals. So we figured, what can we do that would give any student athlete the opportunity to earn an NIL deal? So every roof that we replace, we will earmark a portion of our profit on the job to designate for an NIL deal to a student athlete of the homeowner's choosing. So I want to make that very clear. We're not stockpiling a list of athletes that we'll then give out money to. It's you hire us to replace your roof, complete the job, and then you say, I would like you to do an NIL deal with fill in the blank. And it could be your son, daughter, niece, nephew, neighbor, cousin, friend, or your favorite athlete at whatever school. So we've already done deals with students at LSU, at ULL, at Northwestern State. So baseball, football, check it out. I got the link pinned in the comments. So help us spread the word. We think it's a great project, and we sure hope we're able to do a lot of deals with a lot of different student athletes. Richard Bortle on Matt, hearing any surprise recruits that might sign with LSU? Nope. At this point, LSU has 7 spots remaining. There are 6 players that they have committable offers to that are announcing tomorrow. I just mentioned those. And then based off of those 6, what happens there, and look, you never get them all, right? It's just the way that signing day goes. You never get everybody. So they will probably come out of signing day with a spot or 2 open, which they could then save for one of 2 purposes. They could either wait for the transfer market to see what happens coming out of spring, and or backfill for next year's class. So they got options. But no, I would not expect any big surprise recruits. I just listed the 6 that they're in on. Benton Alford, Greg Phillips, Jonathan Martin, Ed Reeder. Kansas City does not have a real D-line. LA does, even though I'm a Burrow fan. Ed, I think that's no disrespect intended, but that's kind of a ridiculous comment, man. Chris Jones is a monster. I think Melvin Ingram is a hell of a good player. Frank Clark is, I don't know what you're talking about. I think Kansas City's defensive line is really, really good. I think the adjustment that Kansas City made, the adjustment Cincinnati made was I think the adjustment Cincinnati made was they got the ball out of Burrow's hand quickly, and he used his legs. So yeah, man, I would kind of flatly disagree with you there, man. I think that's a really, really good defensive line. They were injured for part of the season, but healthy and pretty good. Donovan Pederson hired Doug. Are you related to Doug? Spelled the same. Ron Ritchie, what's up? Your feelings on Perkins bringing the entire family to Baton Rouge? I think they got a good chance at him, Ed. I mean, it's. Listen, Harold Perkins is going to come down to NIL money. That's basically what it comes down to. I mean, he mentions it in every interview, and I told you it's why he decommitted from A&M. The funny thing is that I have so many fans that say, "What's just so sad? This is what it's come to. It's just going to the highest bidder." What do you think has been happening in recruiting forever? Like, do you honestly think that, Vidal Alexander's dad getting a no-show job at the Lake was the first time that ever happened? Do you honestly think Cam Newton's dad soliciting a $250,000 payment for his son is just like a one-off? Okay. All those years when you were so disappointed that local guy left and went to that other school, why do you think he did? When you were so pumped up at the Bayou Bash when LSU landed that big-time recruit on signing day, what do you think sealed the deal? It's always been the same thing. You just see it now. It's just public now. And I'm telling you, if Jacoby Matthews goes to Texas A&M, it's because his parents want him to go there because they're offering more money. I'll tell you flatly, and I have no problem saying this publicly. Jacoby Matthews wants to go to LSU. His parents want him to go to A&M. A&M is offering more money than LSU. It's that simple. Where does he go? Does the kid go where he wants to go, or do his parents win out? We'll see. Jamie Hot. Well, let's see. Ooh, back to YouTube. Let's see. Got about 10 more minutes, y'all. Jesse Brown. Morning, Matt. Saw the Saints are interviewing an assistant on staff for head coaching job. Yeah, Darren Rizzi talked about that just a bit ago. Special teams coordinator. He did interview for the Miami job a few years ago as well, but probably just one of those opportunities to let him get his name out. Sean Comiskey. Will the NCAA investigation with Wade ever end? He does not seem to care. He stares in the face of the NCAA, still gets big recruits. So remember, Sean, it's no longer with the NCAA. The NCAA could not come to resolution, so it's now being handled by the independent review panel, part of that, the Rice Commission, if you remember, when Condoleezza Rice had the commission on corruption in college sports, blah, blah. Well, they have the independent review panel as part of that, where if the NCAA can't come to resolution of a case, it goes to this independent review panel who can either choose to use the NCAA's information they've already gathered and or conduct their own investigation. So basically when it went there, it kind of started over. So that's why. A big reason why. Bubba Tatum, Brandon, what's up? Matt Lusto. R.I.P. Hokie, yep. Trey Guy, good morning. Keith H, morning, Matt. Predictions for tomorrow. I'm not much on that, man. I never know what high school kids are going to do. We had Billy Embody on the show yesterday, and I asked him that, and little uncertain, I think. I would love to see him be able to close with Perkins and Matthews. And, I'd love to see him get the cornerback too. But, shoot. Who knows? Um, Keith H. I'll put a little hustle to start the day. Tim Gotro, Bubba Tatum. Donovan. He nailed you, Donovan? What did Donovan say? What did I miss? Oh, Donovan Pederson. Oh, got it. I wonder if Donovan Pederson is related to Doug. See if he replied. No reply yet. Keith H. Matt, you're nailing the daily. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate it. Yeah, by the way, LSU Daily is live right now. If you want to check out the LSU Daily podcast, it's there. And for the request, all right. Would a total revamp for the Saints be a bad thing? I mixed about getting Dennis Allen. I think when you've built good culture in the NFL, you work like hell to maintain it. And I think the Saints have done that. I'd be totally fine with Dennis Allen. Chase Pellegrin, could Matt House's quick recruitment before tomorrow involve a call with Tyrann Mathieu and recruits, or is that against the rules? It is against the rules. Lawrence Burley, good morning. Charlie Cavell, that's the absolute worst. Filled in for a friend during playoffs, and color guy was so bad, stepping on me. My wife said that dude wouldn't let you speak. Yeah, it is the worst. Shut up, color guy. You know, Charlie, I just feel like when I do that segment, my hope is, and I get it, it's really just me sort of projecting, but my hope is that somewhere, somehow, there's one young aspiring broadcaster that hears it and doesn't step on a call as a result of it. Changing the radio world one shut up color guy at a time. Aaron Everett asking about injuries for basketball. Will Wade, when he met with the media yesterday, said that they hadn't practiced yet. Days should be a full go. Pinson's getting treatment and coming along. But he also mentioned injuries to guys like Gaines, who's not 100%. I guess at this point in the season, nobody's really 100%. But shouldn't need Pinson tonight to be 100%. What hour did you play Shut Up Color Guy? Ronnie, I think we played it in hour 2. I think we played it in hour 2? I don't remember. I think it was hour 2. Bam, bam, bam. Brant Roban, morning, Matt. Kelly's a veteran coach with a good staff, and with the talent LSU has, why do people say it may take 2 to 3 years to get back to national championship? Why not this coming season with full spring of summer and gelling? So, Brant, I'm going to flatly disagree with you on the talent LSU has. Like, that's where I think LSU fans have overshot themselves a little bit here, the realistic expectations. So, just for instance, you lost Dwight McGlothern and Elias Ricks, both of whom are potential, if not likely, first-round draft picks. Okay, you replace them with Jark Bernard Converse and Mekhi Gardner, a former 3-star who'll grant you was all Big 12, but a fifth-year guy, and there's a reason he's still in school in his 5th year, as opposed to being in the draft in year 3, and Mekhi Gardner, who was 3rd team All-Sun Belt. Which 2 guys would you rather have? And don't you dare tell me I want guys who want to be here, blah, blah. No, stop it. That's ridiculous and absurd and stupid. You want the more talented guys, okay? You are not as talented there. You're not. You lost Damone Clark, obviously, to the draft. Thank goodness you got Baskerville back. But if you're going to try to tell me that you're banking on West Weeks coming in and being a 100-tackle guy. I mean, that was a 3-star who just spent 1 year at Virginia and played a backup role. I don't expect him to step into the SEC and be a star day one. I just don't. We can talk about the kids from Arkansas. Good players. Fouché is a box safety. Gregory Brooks is more of a nickel. Both have played a lot of SEC football. But those also aren't guys that are top 100 picks in the draft, man. You're losing 4 starters on the offensive line. You really didn't have much production from your running game a year ago. You hope. Noah Cain coming in, John Emery being eligible. And by the way, Miles Brennan's played 3 games in his career. So I think now there's a flip side of that argument, which is Brennan's been around for 5 years. You got Kayshon Boutte back, a lot of talent receiver. You got a bunch of guys on the offensive line experience last year, and then you add Tremont Shorts, who could be a day one starter for you. You supplement, and Miles Frazier. You supplement on the defensive line, adding a guy like Mekhi Wingo. But is a 6 foot, 280-pound defensive lineman really the difference maker you're thinking? You know what I mean? I don't think that this LSU team is super talented. They're not going to be as talented as Bama or Georgia or A&M. They're probably. But my feeling for this LSU team is their ceiling is going to be 9-3. And I think it'd be amazing if they got there. If they got to 9-3 and then went and won a bowl game and got to 10, I think that would be an amazing year one. Coming off a year where you were 6-7, and a year before that you were 5-5, you're back-to-back 500 seasons, man. Ron Wisnant, what's up? Let's see. Wesley Thompson, this has all been happening under the table? Can LSU just use the same funds to buy the players legally now? Are they so far behind? Because other teams have been more organized, quite honestly, and they have more money. It's a giant. All right, I'll put it to you this. Last thing I'll say about this, and then we got to go. And this is going to be quick, but this is what I think is hard for a lot of people here to understand. Yes, LSU has boosters that will pay up whenever LSU needs things. Okay. But it's not to the degree of some other places that you hear mentioned all the time. Texas A&M, Bama, Georgia. And the real problem LSU has, the real problem, is you keep going to the same well, which isn't as deep as other places. You went to the same well to pay your women's basketball coach $2.5 million a year, to pay $17 million to buy out your football coach, to raise $100 million to hire a new coach and all of his staff. And those are the same people that are buying your suites for football and baseball and your premium seats for basketball. You know what I mean? You keep milking that cow, eventually it's going to stop producing milk. You know what I mean? And then with NIL, because it's independent of the university, you don't actually get anything. If you're buying suites or making donations, you get more TAF points and you get priority and all that sort of stuff. There is no official benefit to participating in NIL for a business owner. Within the athletic department, if that makes sense. As evidence, by the fact that they are so far behind, tomorrow night at the Stadium Club, LSU is hosting an open forum for businesses to come and learn more about NIL. Tomorrow. NIL's been in place since the summer. They're very far behind. There's no two ways around it. Okay, I gotta go. Sorry to be late, but it's 8. I gotta get Drew up. I gotta get him out. Y'all have an awesome day. Shout out to Brock, as always, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, brortho.com, brortho.com. New year, new career, or if you need an orthopedist, Brock, and of course, Hudco Roofing. Pinned in the comments on both YouTube and Facebook is more about the Hudco Hometown Hero program. Learn more about how we can work together to benefit your favorite athlete. Any sport, any school, any athlete. It's the Hudco Hometown Hero program. Learn more at HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all have an awesome day, and we'll see you for LSU Daily is live already. LSU Daily is live right now, however you get your podcast, and Locked on LSU, AFR3. See you.